looking to grow that at least another 10, and then at least another 7 or 8 on top of that. Compound those numbers up. So you do get a big ramp up year 2 and 3.
And year one is so your year one. So this is just your revenue growth. Year
yes.
2 would be your year 2 growth is 20%, then 10, and 7 and 8.
Yes, the ballpark.
Okay,
yeah. That's what you'd normally be looking at.
And I've sort of just broadly assumed you can do 500K per square foot per year. Is that reasonable?
Are we talking in the States dollars here? Are we in dollars or pounds?
Or in pounds, I think the UK business is at about 950. I'm saying sort of year 1 you do half of that and then it ramps from there.
Yeah, ballpark. I would think you're looking at, you'd probably in the States go 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. That kind, 500, then 600, then 700, 800. Yeah, that kind of increase.
That's in the States or the UK? Sorry.
No, that's in the States.
And the UK would be different.
Well, the UK, you wouldn't get the big increases because it's a well-established brand.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be. You'd hit the ground running in the UK and probably get a higher number initially.
Right. And just how does in the because I guess I'm interested in the UK or the Europe or let's say Europe because that's where it's most relevant as well. You would probably start with a lower number and then you'd ramp up quicker, right?
Yes.
And how does the margins evolve?
Your margin, as in the margin on sales on product, would be pretty consistent.
Yeah, it's a gross margin I'm talking.
Yeah, so I'm talking about the gross margin on the sales of product. Let's just say that's 50%. That would be consistent
exactly.
Wherever you are. Yeah. And
your EBIT margin, how would that evolve in a so if you were opening a store in, I don't know, in Amsterdam or something, would you expect to be loss-making year 1 or? No,
you'd expect to break even year 1.
And then how quickly do you ramp your profit from there?
I think it's year 2 onwards. You ramp it up. So if you had a store that was taking, let's say it takes a million, yeah?
Yeah.
Year 2, you take 1.2 million. So it was break even at the million. The 200 incremental sales is 100 of additional profit.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, interesting. And okay, fair enough. And it's reasonable. Yeah, a million would be. It depends on the size of the store, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Their store. By the way, their stores take a lot more than a million. I just said that.
No, of course. It depends on the average size of the store, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
So the trajectories of your UK rollout would be you would start with your year 1 would be, let's say, 70% of your average sales density, but in Europe you'd start maybe 40-50%, in US 40-50%, and then it would ramp from there.
Yeah.
Got it. So it's just a kind of different curve. It's a less risky rollout in the UK, but presumably now when you're rolling out in the UK, where you are, it's less productive than it used to be just because the productive locations are gone, right?
No, not necessarily, because some of the relocations that they're doing, they're relocating into bigger space in better sites. Everybody wants JD, and remember that it's, you're not in the situation they were 20 years ago when people were thinking, oh, well, I'd rather have Marks and Spencer's. You'd rather have a JD than a Marks and Spencer's.
Right.
So, I think that, that they get some pretty good deals on costs now. People want JD in, so they're not going to be overpaying. And one of the factors that that should be taken into account, they ain't going to be overpaying, and people do want a JD. And anybody that's doing any big refurbishment or big store, they'd love to get JD in as a tenant. So JD can strike really good deals now. And I don't think, and the way bricks and mortar is now, okay. There's some great. Don't get me wrong. There are some great shopping sites, some great sites, but outside of maybe 20 locations in the UK, you're going to get some fantastic deals. The Trafford Centre remains very strong. Oxford Street remains very strong. Your Stratford remains strong, but outside of those premium, really hot spots, the rest of the states that have got, they're going to